Adventure on Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with...
Hello, I'm Alex from the Vintage Caravan.
I am Stefan from also the Vintage Caravan.
I am Oskar Loy from also the Vintage Caravan.
Well, I'm glad you're all from the same band, because that would be a little weird.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be embarrassing. That's the word.
I would hate it.
So, were you kind of... I mean, it's great to be here at Graspop. Were you kind of shocked that you had such a crowd that you did with that mud fest out there today?
I mean, we were lucky to be playing the tent. You know, that's one thing. But this is our third time playing Graspop, and actually every time we played here, we've had such a crowd like this. You know, so it's just been beautiful.
Yeah, even last time we played here, it was 2022, and at the same time we were playing, Belgium had like a national game at like the World Cup, playing against Germany or something at the same time we were playing, and we were expecting like no one to be there, but still it was full and it was awesome. So
well, that's a testament to your guys' music and that you're badass. Bottom line, you know.
Well, thank you.
And you know what else is badass? Where you played. Have you played in that metal dome before? Because I saw it for the first time yesterday. I'm like, wow, this is the coolest like tent stage ever.
Yeah, we love it. We've played this metal dome for the last 3 times we played. Like, yeah.
It's so cool. Like, you can have all kinds of effects. Like, I was interviewing a band yesterday. They said they thought they were having pyrotechnics, but they realized it was just the screen behind them.
The magic of LED, my
I know,
friend.
Right? I know. It's only going to get better with AI, right? Like that, you won't even need fireworks anymore. It'll be like pretend fireworks, and it'll look real.
Actually, I saw some flames going up behind me, and I felt the heat, but it was just on screen.
I love it.
Weird.
It's funny. One time we played this weird club in Nuremberg.
A BDSM club.
Yeah, it was actually like an S&M club, you know.
Wow.
And our backstage, it was also like in the evenings, it's like an S&M, you know, dungeon, you know. So they had all these contraptions in the backstage, and yeah, I mean that was not really the point of the story, but the point of the story was, the point of the story was that they had had pyrotechnics on the stage, and this is like a 300 capacity club. And they because they have limited budget, they say you can choose one song to have pyro in. And so we tell them what song, and then of course we totally forgot about it when the show was happening. And and I just remember this intense heat and being like, oh my God, what is happening? It's just like...
I remember in the sound check, there was a little man in a cage in the corner in the room. It was very surreal. And he said, it was like, you have to be careful. And I was like, what? He's like, you have to be careful. And I was like, of what? And then like, poof, like flames came up like next to me, and he was like, of that. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. It was so warm, and
I actually, I took a photo of Oscar in the backstage where he is like hanging on a cross. He's like hanging on a cross where you have like these braces, you know, like. I don't know where that photo is.
I have it stored away.
Well, it would be even better if you guys were in that and performing that way. Like you're performing in like the sling and...
Yeah, like all bound up in cages and stuff. Like, yeah, that would be fucking awesome.
The audience can do what they want.
But wait, somebody already did that. Motley Crue.
Oh, yeah. We don't want to repeat stuff, you know, really. That's.
But I think their cages weren't small enough.
No, they weren't. So, I have to ask you, I have to tell you, actually. I've done over 3,000 band artist interviews. This is the first one for a band that was from Iceland.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
That's an honor. Yeah, really. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
So I looked at that, I'm like, that's pretty cool, you know? It's actually one of the places I want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been like all over the world. That's the one place I haven't been yet.
Where are you from again? Sorry.
The States.
Where in the States?
Florida.
All right.
Well, it's not where I'm from. That's where I live.
We were actually just in Florida in September.
Where at?
We flew through to Miami, so we had a day and a half there.
Did you study your Spanish? Because they don't speak English in Miami.
No, we just had some nice Cuban food.
Ooh, yeah, Cuban food's good. You know what's better than Cuban food?
What?
Cuban women.
Oh, yeah. I can
They-
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't see any. There were only men there, but at the place.
Only men. It was kind of weird, actually.
Man Island.
Scary.
Well, because sometimes their culture is the man's the dominant, so maybe their women were at home while they were there.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of the Cuban mentality, right? Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interview that's gonna get us canceled.
Well, it might get me canceled. So you guys can like refrain from saying anything, and I'll be the one getting canceled. I'll take all the blame.
Plead the fifth.
There is a lot of that going on in music, isn't there? That's kind of weird to me too.
Like cancellations or
Yeah.
It's so funny to watch interviews. I love watching comedians doing interviews and stuff because they when musicians come over for a podcast or something, they are the most boring person to have at the interview because they're I don't want to say anything controversial. I might get cancelled. I might upset my crowd. But the comedian goes off and does whatever.
What's funny about that though? That's probably in their environment. When you have them in your studio and they're not on stage, they're never funny.
No.
Comedians they have to go do their shtick.
Yeah.
I've interviewed people like Carrot Top and big comedians, and I'm asking them to be funny.
I actually think musicians are the exact reverse of this. They are not funny in interviews, but maybe except for us.
Yeah, we are hilarious.
Yeah, but
I love it.
Off stage and off camera and everything, musicians tend to be the funniest people,
right?
While comedians tend to be they have their comedian turned off, kind of.
Yeah, because they got to do their shtick, and the other thing is, comedians for the most part are miserable. Look at Robin Williams as an example. It's usually the comedians making everybody else laugh that don't laugh themselves.
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
And you guys, you just have to have fun when you're off stage because that's your zone serious time,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We try to have fun on stage as well, but sometimes we end up just saying really, really stupid shit on stage. So,
what's the dumbest shit you ever said on stage?
One time I said because I dropped my pick, and I remember saying to the audience I wish I had a tiny man in my tight pants that would just hand me the pick when I drop it, because my pants are so tight. And I remember looking at Alexander, and he just turned to me and said, "Ew."
yeah.
I mean, that would go over if you were Irish, but
Yeah, I thought he was talking. I thought it was much more of a real thing than he was.
I was just imagining an impossibly small man.
It's like a fairy tale scenario, Yeah. I was thinking if it was a real live thing, like
a little person on my leg, basically.
That's what I thought you were saying. Thank God you weren't saying that though. So.
But what if you were a ventriloquist and you had a dummy playing your instrument for you or singing for you instead of you?
I mean, that would probably go over well in some crowds, but for the majority, I think pretty bad for most of us. It's also horrible for economic, for our, doing flights and stuff. We'd have to
You'd have to pay extra for baggage.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That would be horrible, really.
We could keep him on a carry-on situation.
Now, what about this though? Okay, so sometimes they lose your instruments when you're going on tour and it's on a plane.
Yeah.
Okay, but then sometimes, band yesterday I interviewed them at Hellfest, and they had that happen to them, and another band loaned them their instruments. What do you do if you have a bunch of dummies that get lost on the plane? How do you perform?
That's the thing, yeah. I mean, you can't really. I mean, or like you have to. I mean, if you're really into that scene, you probably have good connections wherever you go. You know, so you have like, you know, dummy connections. You know, I mean, I would imagine.
Yeah.
This is a slightly related thing. So this has to do with Duran Duran and puppets. So my ex-girlfriend worked at a hotel, and she came to like room service to the singer from Duran Duran, and came into the room, and there were like puppets in the room, like kind of like half size.
So many puppets.
So many, like I think she said there were like 3, but they were really big, so that you would have to have like a suitcase per puppet. I would say.
Wasn't there also like alu foil in the window?
Oh yeah, olive oil in the for sure.
Olive oil.
Like no.
Aluminum foil.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
aluminum.
I said olive oil for some reason,
And
but
I said alu foil.
Yeah. So,
this is where the misunderstanding began.
you know, it doesn't surprise me. It just confirms how strange Duran Duran is.
I mean, you know, yeah.
I have a trivia
weird
question.
Reflex for.
I have a trivia question for you
Okay.
guys, because this just came up recently. I had an interview with Carmine Appice,
Oh, love him.
and it's all over the news now because of some controversial stuff he said.
Okay.
And so, one of your influences is Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
What genre is Led Zeppelin considered? Like, if you were to pick one genre, what is it considered?
Right now, like if you would have to, like, it's classic rock, I guess. When it comes down to it.
What's your pick?
Whatever he said. Yeah.
I don't know, like it would like dip their toes into like heavy rock, if that's a thing. Like
Well,
Heavy rock, blues rock. I mean, they did a lot of different. They did a
They
reggae
did.
song, for Christ's sake.
this is why I hate genre labeling, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
They put you guys in such a tight box.
Yeah.
To me, Zeppelin is, just like you said, blues, rock,
Yeah.
you know, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, even hard. I looked it up in Google because we had a discussion and we were like talking, like some people claim they're heavy metal, and he was like, no, they're definitely not heavy metal. I looked it up. In Google, they were considered heavy metal, which is
Yeah.
freaking weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, at that time, nobody said heavy metal. You know, I think like
No.
What was the first band that was called? I think it was
Sabbath,
like for.
probably.
Well, it was actually some review for like it was like a review for Iron Butterfly or something. That was the first time
they could definitely, and Slayer covered one of their songs. So, you know,
Did they do in Caravita or?
Gata de Vida.
Gata
And
Vida,
Mountain sometimes is considered metal because there was really no metal, so that was the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
The controversial thing he said on the interview, and now since I'm bringing it up, you guys might end up all over the news, okay?
That'd be good for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
He said Black Sabbath is not heavy metal.
Oh yeah, I read that. I mean,
That was
for,
my
for
interview.
oh wow, that's amazing. Well, for the first part, like they didn't think they were heavy metal. They thought they were heavy rock.
Right.
They thought they had a weird
Well, that's
kind
what
of edge.
he was saying. He was saying they're really hard rock. He said there really wasn't any heavy metal, and Bruce that just played won't like this one either, till Metallica. He
Yeah.
said that was the first metal band because he was describing the guitar.
Yeah.
it didn't exist when they were playing.
Exactly.
So like these labels just come like automatically from like some.
Well, that's the
people at
thing.
iTunes or
They just
something.
make up stupid labels for bands.
I mean, for us, you know, it's been we were just talking about this earlier, but we have been called pretty much stoner rock, psychedelic rock, prog rock, modern rock, vintage rock, you know, fucking name it. You know, metal.
Didn't your label originally call you prog rock?
I mean, they called us a lot of different things, you know.
Southern rock, prog rock, or something. It was like
Yeah, yeah.
something like Southern rock. Or it's like,
That's because you're wearing the hat.
It's a new hat.
It's so new.
That's a Southern rock hat.
I think so many of these things, like I was just saying before in another interview, is just like these things are just like kind of in the eye of the beholder. You know, there's just like whatever you think they are to you. You know, so it's like that's why people always say to us like, "Oh, your album sounds so incredibly like authentic, vintage." You know, and we're like, No, they don't. I mean,
you're just being you. You're being authentic to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
you know,
the difference.
Yeah, and it's just like because I mean, partly it's because of the name also, but
Yeah, the name, and I mean, of course, there are influences. They are there, but at the same time, we play more like, if anything, we play more like a metal band with these kind of influences.
Nice.
And, but. And I'm also, when it comes down to it, I'm a blues guitarist at heart, so...
I love it, and that makes, to me, that makes somebody a better guitarist, no matter what genre you're in, because blues is hard to play.
Yeah. I mean, okay, if we were called the doo-wop Caravan, what kind of music would you think we would play,
New wave.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even if we would play new wave, nobody would believe it,
No, and I got to say something about the Southern rock. As somebody from the States, the idea of a band that's from Iceland and Denmark, how can you be Southern rock? Because Southern rock means you're from the Southern U.S.
Yeah, exactly.
Period.
Exactly. And like Southern rock is kind of stupid as a phrase because it's all about the blues is from the South, when it comes down to it.
Exactly.
It's like kind of all rock is Southern if it comes down to it.
That's true. That's true.
So basically, what you're saying is no amount of cowboy hat is gonna make you Southern.
That's right.
Like
I can try.
Yeah. Well, I think you should do it. Just next time you play a gig, just yell out, "I got this hat so we can become Southern rock."
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, aren't you a tall glass of water?
We just say that to everyone in the audience.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
I'm looking like a mighty fine tall glass of water. And I was like, okay.
So we're having a lot of fun here, but your tour manager is going to probably be mad at me because we're going over.
It's fine. Yeah.
This is our last interview.
Yeah, we have nothing better to do.
Okay.
4 hours.
So
we
what does
enjoy
he
your
think?
presence.
What does he think? Let's find out.
No, he just works for our label, so he just whatever.
I just told him, I'm like, you're going to probably be mad because we're starting to go over, so we should move forward. And they're like,
If they want to continue, it's all fine.
yeah, that's what they said. They're like, it's our last interview today. He don't care.
You can only have 20 more questions.
Yeah.
I don't even think the only question I asked was a trivia question.
Yeah.
We could do more of those too.
Yeah.
I always stump bands.
Could you do would you rather? Could you give me your best would you rather?
Oh, okay, that would be great. Would you rather have sex with a mannequin in Duran Duran's room or play with Duran Duran?
Oh,
I'd love to play with Duran.
yeah. I'll pick that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pick the playing. Yeah, definitely.
We could also do the playing and the sex with the mannequin on stage.
Yeah. Okay, but
At that club you guys played at.
Yeah. But I wonder what band would it have to be so that you would rather choose the sex with the mannequin than playing with them?
Okay.
I'm coming up with it, okay? Would you rather have sex with a mannequin or would you rather sing a song from Boy George's butt?
From his butt. Did he swallow me or like?
So are you inside his butt? Or I mean,
Yeah,
what are the
like
parameters?
your lips come outside of the butt and you're singing.
Yeah, I choose the mannequin.
I think I love mannequins right now.
I don't mind. I'll stick it in anything.
So one thing you can totally tell from this interview is I do not have a script.
We do not either.
Right. And if I was supposed to have one, I'm going to be fired after this interview.
I mean, that's I guess.
Fired up. That's where we're gonna be.
Okay, so here's a good question that, I don't know, it might be controversial. It might piss some people off. And it might be people you know that you piss off. Would you rather play in Iceland or Denmark?
Iceland.
Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland for sure. Yeah.
So much more fun.
What makes it more fun besides its hometown?
I mean,
Our friends.
our friends, and it's also, I don't know, I think Icelandic people are tend to be a bit more, strangely enough, a little bit more open during shows.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think Danish people are a little bit colder. We used to live in Denmark for 2 years, from 2014, 16, but you know, had a good time there. But for the most part, we just had
Well,
a
that's
band
why I
and
was
played all
mentioning
over.
that, because I don't know if people know, but you went there so you could be closer to the label.
Yeah, exactly. So we lived by the border, and we just drove around in our van, did like 100 shows a year for like 3 years or something. It was great.
Was it true that the label was like, we're just not coming to Iceland, you need to come over here because it's too cold over there? But that's not even true. Because like the rest of the world, what I heard, tell me if this is true, that's the opposite. Like Greenland is colder than Iceland.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Way colder. Way colder. It's like a complete glacier. Like it's just
Right.
it's a glacier with some people.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it was really just like a financial thing. I mean, it's like if you live on an island, you have to fly every time. So
Yeah.
and if you can move to the mainland where there's more countries, then you can really it was just easier, you know. And we were at the right age where we could just like tell everybody to just, you know, whatever. I mean, just we were just like,
You
yeah,
can
it's just
say
to fuck
it, you
off.
can
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it, you
I
can
mean,
say it.
I mean, I did like I basically did the whole fuck off thing to everybody. I just quit my job and I broke up with my girlfriend and and off we went.
Does she ever reach out to you now?
No. No.
No.
And when you say no, does that follow up with thank God?
Do I want to say that on the radio? Yeah, best not to say these things on the radio. But
Yeah, that's
I'll
true.
make gestures.
I don't know what that means because I'm from America, so. All right, so you want to do more Would You Rather?
Yeah, I'm so up for it.
All right, so would you rather play in Greenland with Lars as your drummer? And I brought that up because they played in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Or would you rather? Now I just got stumped. Look at that. Or would you rather have S&M sex while you're playing with Lars as your drummer?
Wow, yeah. So both things involve Lars.
Well, don't all things involve Lars as far as he's concerned?
True. I think, I mean, I'm considering both options, but I think my girlfriend might be not too pleased if I have S&M sex with Lars Ulrich on stage. So.
Even if it's our girlfriends doing it to us, I think I have kind of like this thing. I'm really afraid of like gimps. You know, I don't like them. There's the dehumanizing factor that just kind of fucks me up. And
I've been planning for a very long time to just, you know, like pop out of a closet at some point wearing a gimp mask. But I've researched it and they're very expensive, like the good ones, you know. They're $200 or something, you know.
Maybe that's what you should do. You could be like, you know, Slipknot or any of those other bands and just have gimp masks on stage.
conquer my fear.
Great idea, but no thanks. but towards the Lars Greenland situation, like as a drummer, I would say like I would prefer them to cheat on me with Lars just by playing with him, rather than like having S&M sex live on stage with him. Like, yeah.
You can't go back from that. You're always the band that did that.
Yeah, then you always have to do S&M sex with him like forever.
We bought the tickets. Give us the sex.
Yeah. Every set without S&M sex with Lars is gonna be a downgrade.
Now just remember, this one might make the news.
Yeah. So, but okay, unless I have a loophole. So if you have the whole sex with Lars thing as an art exhibition, then you can really do whatever the fuck you want, you know. So you
like in a museum or something.
Yeah, you do it like you have paint on or something, and like
you call the show Loophole.
Okay, so here's a very serious question.
Yeah, here it comes.
If you do play a gig in Greenland, do you have to do it on ice skates?
Oh,
Caravan on ice. That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you would have to, but
It would be kind of fun, though.
That would be fun. Yeah.
I would break all of my limbs and most of my other things too.
Yeah. Best not, I think. Yeah. Better the whole Lars situation.
So I have one more question in the weirdness. All right, last one in the weirdness, okay?
Yeah.
So, if you were speaking to some German girl at a Belgium festival,
Specific? I like it.
and your friend comes up to you and says, say this to her in German, and basically what he says to say is that you have a big stick. And you do it because you're a radio personality, so you have no shame in saying anything.
Is this a personal story?
It might be from last night. And she might be waiting out there because I told her I had to go do an interview.
Right.
So, and then she went from punching you to kissing you. Would you do that on stage?
Wow.
I'd also take the risk of getting like either beaten up and
She
or
punched
kissed.
me before I said that. He
Before
said,
you said that?
He said, if you say this to her, she'll want to have sex with you. And before that, what I did was I pulled her hair and she punched me. And then after said that,
with 5 fingers, or
yeah,
That's a punch.
that's a punt. And then, which she wants to go see tonight. And then after I said that, I pulled her hair and she kissed me. So there you go.
congratulations, man.
I'm gonna.
You made it.
So
I would not do this on stage, no, if that's the question.
what I'm
Yeah.
really doing is giving you guys advice. Okay.
Don't.
Next time you're at Graspop, okay, speak German.
Okay.
That's good advice. Thank you.
Spreche einen Spischen, fuck.
Yeah.
Sounds
right.
good to me. All right, tell everybody your socials, your website, how they can get all your music,
Okay,
merch, all that.
OnlyFans, Oscar Lawyer, hit me up, you bitch. No, my name
You
is
know what's funny? I do have an OnlyFans.
Caravan.
It's the only podcast OnlyFans. I don't put stuff on there except shit like this.
Oh.
But I do. My co-hosts do.
That's where you find the rest of the German girl story.
And that's how you get more listeners.
Well, yeah, you can find us on, Facebook, Instagram, The Vintage Caravan, YouTube, The Vintage Caravan, Twitter, I don't know, like X.
I
Who cares?
I can't call it X. It's stupid.
Yeah.
it is pretty stupid.
But instead of sending a tweet, is it like X marks the spot?
Yeah, I don't like. Who cares? Fuck X.
Elon, please answer us. What does it mean?
He's got fascination with X. I think it has to do with BDSM club. I don't know.
He was at that club. Funny enough.
He was the guy that said that to you.
Yeah. A final remark about that place. The owner of the place had a T-shirt on that was "fuck you, you fucking fuck," and he had a really like a pencil mustache.
Ah.
And a nice ponytail.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
It sounds like a lot more went on there than you guys playing a gig.
Oh, we have to go.
Well, you guys killed it here at Grasshop. Thanks a lot for having a fun interview. And I might get canceled if this one makes the news. It was already bad enough.
We're
saying
going down
Black
with you,
Sabbath.
buddy.
I know, right? But nobody can cancel you guys because you kick ass. And you kicked ass here at Grasshop. And thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.